Hi guys, good afternoon. Today is December 14, around 2 p.m. Here's I will show you the weather for today. It's a little bit strong winds than as what the weather forecast news update have. Typhoon coming, maybe hit, possible hit this coming Thursday or Friday. Hello, good morning.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Fred here.
I'm DeDe.
And we're sitting here in the cockpit in Carmen Bay, Cebu in the Philippines, aboard Sunshine, my sailboat. Anyway, this is local time, Wednesday morning about 9 a.m. on the 15th of December. And coming soon to an island where we are is a typhoon. The forecasts, different models are slightly conflicting. One shows the eye of the storm passing slightly to the north of our location, and one model shows the eye of the storm passing slightly to the south of our location. In either case, it's going to get pretty feisty here. Fortunately, the bay in which I have my mooring and to which Sunshine is attached is quite well protected. Pretty much all the way around 360 degrees. So this video is going to be showing a little bit about the preparations that I'm making, or that we're making, in anticipation of the storm, which is supposed to cross this longitude at about 2 a.m. Friday morning. That is a 25-liter plastic jug. I think originally it was used for, what is that stuff? Hydrogen peroxide. It's been well cleaned out. I've had it for years. Quite durable, not too heavy to carry. 25 liters of diesel weighs about the same as 20 liters of water. You can't see the deck bill, that shade there is covering over it, but that's the first thing I'm going to do with my handy dandy transfer pump. Just a siphon pump. Works quite well. Okay, now got the foredeck sun cover neatly rolled up and lashed over there. This is my secondary bow anchor. It's a 15 kilo Bruce hooked to 25 feet of chain, and I think I got 200, possibly 300 feet of half-inch nylon. I'm going to use that as a third anchor if necessary, though I doubt that it will be. See my mooring lines, pretty heavy duty. That's 1-inch polypropylene. I use that because it floats. And one piece of 1-inch polypropylene is probably just about strong enough to pick up the entire boat. Those lines are, if memory serves, somewhere on the order of 15 meters long, and they go down and attach to my mooring. And now my mooring is an 80 kilogram cast iron ship's anchor, and it's attached to 10 meters of stud link chain that's about, I'm guessing somewhere on the order of about 15 millimeter in diameter. It weighs 7 kilograms per meter, and I have 10 meters of that chain. So between the chain and the anchor, that's 150 kilograms. Now, what I like to do in a situation like I'm expecting to develop here is I will take the primary anchor, which is a 22.5 kilogram plow, and I will shackle it to the swivel between the mooring lines and the mooring chain. And what that will do is that will help to hold the chain down horizontal, or right down on the bottom, making the pull on the anchor pretty much horizontal. Now, the water that I'm in here, even though not possible to see the bottom because it's mud, so there's no light reflecting off of it, is only about maybe 5 meters, say between 4 and 5 meters. At extreme high tide, the range between low tide at 0 and high tide is approximately 2 meters. And right now it's just about half tide. So the water's not very deep, 15 feet, about 5 meters. And I've got 25 meters between the chain and the mooring lines, which is plenty of scope for this shallow water. Plus, the bottom in this bay is excellent holding. It's mud, and it's quite a chore to retrieve my mooring anchor, because I have pulled it up and changed locations a couple of times. Okay, everybody, here we are in the afternoon. Got all the preparations ready. Got the big sun cover down, got the small sun cover down. Got all the anchor gear ready to go. That's a number 3 anchor. Well, I got the mooring, and the primary anchor is down on the mooring chain. This one's a backup. I doubt that it'll be necessary, but all that stuff's ready to go. The only thing is, I still got the dinghy in the water with the motor on it, because the wind's not really scheduled to start getting strong until probably about noon tomorrow. So just in case we want to take a dinghy run into shore, I'll leave the dinghy set up. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Leave it up or leave it down. If I leave it down, of course, I'll take the oars out and the gas can and take the motor off the back. I've got 2 painters on the dinghy, and I put a couple of fenders I lashed inside, although the dinghy has positive flotation without the fenders. This Typhoon is scheduled to carry with it a tremendous amount of rain, so dinghy might get full of rainwater. I don't know. Of course, there's no way to drain it if it gets full of rain, except by climbing down in it with the scoop and scooping the water out. But the other problem with trying to store it up is I really got to disassemble it. and then tie it all up, take the seats out, and it goes in these brackets right here. These kind of L or J brackets. There's one back aft there you can see. And it's got to be folded up, stuffed in there, and then lashed into place. Which means that I had to reverse the process to get the dinghy set up again. And it may be better to leave it set up even without the motor on it. So it's a lot faster. It can be used a lot more easily than if it's all folded up and stored on deck. Plus, if it's lashed up back here, I mean, it's 10 feet long and about 2 feet wide. That adds a big chunk of windage back on the aft side of the boat here. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave it. Now see what happens. Nothing really going to hurt it because it's all plastic. And like I said, it has positive flotation. Everything else is pretty much ready to go. I stashed a lot of stuff down below. Had a lot of stuff up in the cockpit because I've been doing a lot of painting and varnishing on the inside. Put the steering wheel back on just in case. Although if it's blowing 100 miles an hour out here, I don't think I would be able to power anywhere against wind like that. But if I can run the motor and take the strain off the mooring, I might do that if it seems like it's necessary. Got the main sail cover lashed in place, of course. All the other sails have been stored down below because I've been here for quite a while, haven't gone anywhere. Anyway, pretty much except for final decision on the dinghy, we're about as prepared as we can be. Got plenty of water and food for the next 3 or 4 days anyway. So I'll sign off now. Okay. Here it is after a bit of struggle. You can see my 2 mooring lines are attached to that big, gigantic D shackle, which is attached to a big, gigantic swivel, which is attached to another gigantic D shackle, and another one to reduce the size down to where it will fit the chain, which you can see there, the top link just poking out. That's about 15 millimeter stud link chain. I got this stuff all from a shipbreaker surplus shop down in Cebu. Now the other shiny shackles are my adapters, Shackles, to hook over onto my primary to my primary anchor. And the weight of that anchor will help to hold the chain down parallel to the bottom. And possibly even, if necessary, that anchor will dig into the bottom as well. Anyway, like I said, I just probably spent something over an hour trying to put all this stuff together because of the huge size of these shackles and swivels. Anyway, now I just set it all back down in the water, put out some slack in the chain, so there's really no load on that, and all the load will go on the mooring lines. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning. This is the prelude to Odette, or Rye, or Ray, however it's pronounced. It's still pretty calm here. It's blowing, maybe 15. We've had a little bit of gusty wind, maybe as much as 25, and some intermittent rain. I'm just getting ready to head into the marina and go pick up my rain gear from the motorcycle. And then come back to the boat and remove the motor and the oars from the dinghy. Decided I'm going to leave the dinghy in the water because the forecast for the storm is that it is intensified a bit, but the track for the storm has also moved quite a bit further south. So the worst of the wind will be not here. I mean, it looked at first like we could get the edge of the eye, which would have meant winds up in the range of 100 miles an hour, 160 knots. Oops. But since the forecast has changed and the eye of the storm, the track of the storm is going further to the south, what's forecast for this area is maybe 120 kilometers per hour, which is just on the edge of being rated as a typhoon, somewhere around 60 knots. And that should only be for a brief period of time, according to the forecast, about 3 hours. And of course, that's going to hit in the middle of the night just to make things interesting. Over here in the harbor, it is a commercial harbor. A bunch of the inner island freighters have come over here and tucked in. There's got this big clump of ships here. There's two here stuck in, facing to the west. They're touching there. I don't know how well that's going to work out. But this ship in front of me here is, I think, number 7. They're all side-tied to the land, and this is the 7th one out from the land, plus those two back there. So we have a little ship island. That's 9 ships all in this cluster. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 stacked up, all on one side tie, with a couple of their auxiliary lines going ashore. If any of that stuff breaks up or breaks free, it's all going to head over there, which is the entrance to the commercial shipyard where they do ship repairs and such. And once you get beyond that, the water is quite shallow. Over there, the ships are out so far, they've just about used up the navigable channel. Okay, here I am over at the Marina Restaurant up on the 2nd floor, so I got a pretty good shot down here. A lot of those boats out there on the second row were actually out on the moorings. Not all of them, but a bunch of the boats came and tucked in here, seeking safety from the coming typhoon. It's that great big catamaran. Guy just listed that for sale. Older couple, British, I believe. And anyway, they've been running around. See the bright blue lines? The dock lines. Been running around installing all kinds of extra lines to all these boats in an effort to keep them from bouncing around too much.
Because the big hotels from dry docks brown out.
Back in this,
Thanks, honey. Thank you, honey.
back in this marina, it's quite well protected. So even from a westerly wind, because once again got that big ridge line out there in the distance. So everybody's getting ready to get ready. And we'll see by tomorrow morning how things have and people have fared. Sunshine sitting out there, certainly looking a little naked without her sun covers. I see my sweetie is out there walking around on deck. Probably thinks sea monsters or typhoons got me. I spent a couple minutes talking with the guys in there in the bar about the upcoming excitement.